Namaste, welcome to Arthaniti. In this Friday's episode, I want to share with you some important news from the business world which can affect our investment decisions. Now, the first news is about Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund. If you remember, in the midst of COVID in April 2020, Franklin Templeton had abruptly announced closure of 6 of its debt fund schemes. Now, it came as a shock to many of the investors who till then had a lot of confidence in the working and the returns that Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund gave. It was a name to reckon with in the mutual fund industry, right? But this sudden closure sent shock waves in the investment market. SEBI, as per its orders, which were passed in September 2021, had blamed Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund officers for total mismanagement in the way the scheme closure was handled. The reason that Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund had given was lack of liquidity due to the sudden pressures in the market because of COVID-19 lockdowns. This was the reason that was given by FT managers, correct? Now, following this order from SEBI in 2021, the officers at Franklin Templeton had filed a case in the court of law against this order. Right now, yesterday, the Enforcement Directorate, the government arm for any financial frauds, uh, launched search operations in many of the officers in Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund during the closure, which were employed during the closure of these schemes. Vivek Kudwa, who was the head of Asia Pacific for Franklin Templeton, his wife Rupa Kudwa were some of the noted people with whom these search operations took place. Correct. Now, one more name that came forward was that of Santosh Kamath, who was the chief investment officer at the time this crisis took place in Franklin Templeton. Now, following this and the mismanagement that SEBI reckoned that happened at Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund, SEBI passed an order for like the fund houses to follow, and that order was known as skin in the game. Now, this order was passed in September 2021, and it stated that all people who were actively involved in management of funds in a scheme, so basically other people's money that were being managed by a mutual fund, and the people who were involved in this had to invest at least 20% of their earnings in the schemes that they were managing. Correct? So, starting at the top of the hierarchy, say the fund managers who had to invest almost 20% of their earnings in the schemes that they managed, the percentage went down as the hierarchy lowered. So till the like at the lower level also, people involved in management of other people's money had to put in a part of their earnings in the schemes that they were responsible for managing. Now, because of this order, because of the skin in the game order, what SEBI did was basically it was a way to keep in check any wrongdoings that the fund managers did, and people were not unduly burdened for the mistakes of the fund manager. Correct? If you have your own money invested in something, you will surely take better care of it, was what the principle behind SEBI passing this skin in the game order. Right. Now, one more news that has shook the financial world is that of Credit Suisse. Now, Credit Suisse is one of the biggest banks in Switzerland, and it had come under tremendous pressure after its stock fell nearly 30% on one particular business day in this week. Right, the profits had plummeted. It had recorded like a huge loss for the December quarter. and one of its biggest shareholders, the Saudi National Bank, had refused to help them financially to come out of this crisis. Now, like the Silicon Valley Bank, for which I have put up a video, please go and check it out. The like the probability of Credit Suisse going into liquidation was nearly 50%, correct? And with no one coming forward to support them come out of this liquidity crisis, they had to request the Swiss National Bank, correct, the central bank in Switzerland, to help them sail through this storm. The Swiss National Bank has lent them nearly $54 billion. So it has now become a de facto nationalized bank in Switzerland, and has given them a new lifeline, so to say, so that they do not so that the same thing that happened with Silicon Valley Bank was not repeated with Credit Suisse. Correct. Now, one more shocking thing that has come to light today is that the parent company of Silicon Valley Bank, SVB Financial, has filed for liquidation, where it has assets of nearly 2 billion. Their liabilities stand to nearly $3 billion. So the problem was not only limited to this particular company in the group, which was a bank, but the overall finances of the parent company were also in total disarray. There is a fear that the banking crisis will not be limited only to Europe and the US, and it will spread far and wide. And rightly so, people should be aware about what is happening in India as well. As of now, our banks are resilient, are quite strong. The RBI governor, in his recent speech in Kochi, has also come out with a strong statement of how our banks in India are strong. So there is no reason to fear about whether we will be able to withdraw our money from the bank, or there will be a similar situation like SVB in India as well. But as investors, we should be aware that in India, the deposit guarantee that you get for your deposits in any bank is up to 5 lakh rupees per head per account. Now, you should be aware of this and take proper actions so that your money is well within that limit. Not that the banks are going to fall, but it is always better to be safe than sorry. Correct? So, I hope you have liked this video of mine. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and for more investor awareness videos that I put, a lot of things happening in the financial world which we as investors should be aware of, so that we can take informed decisions. Well, I hope you have a great weekend and see you next week. Till then, happy investing and be safe.